done all seen the headlines. One woman being blamed for not leaving soon enough, another woman being blamed for leaving, and then holding that dude accountable. It's all a bunch of bullshit. But ain't nobody talking about how many of us were never taught how to set boundaries in the first place. And I'm not just talking about women, I'm talking about everybody. And let's be clear, knowing how to say no without guilt, knowing how to speak up when something feels off, knowing how to walk away when your body says stop, that's not just confidence, that's protection. But most of us weren't taught how to speak up about things like sex, consent, and emotional safety, which everyone needs to learn as children. But because the world has convinced us that, oh, that's not appropriate, everybody just lets it go, don't say anything about it, and then we grow up with these really porous boundaries, really unhealthy boundaries around ourselves and around other people. And especially for us women, as girls, we were taught to be nice, to be polite, to keep the peace, to stay silent, even when we didn't feel safe. But now, thankfully, to brave women like this, we out here unlearning that silence bullshit in real time. Healthy sexual boundaries aren't just about pushing people away. They're about protecting your peace, protecting your safety, protecting your worth. And don't misunderstand me, having healthy boundaries isn't going to guarantee that an abuser is not going to do whatever the fuck that they do. But learning the skill set of creating and communicating and maintaining healthy boundaries does decrease the likelihood that you or even future generations in your family will deal with domestic violence like this. Last weekend, I did a workshop around this, and the biggest part, the one that I emphasized the most, was consent. Because everybody needs to learn what consent is and what consent is not, especially children, especially teenagers, especially people who are like in a college age. And there's even older people who still don't know what consent is. And that workshop didn't go over domestic violence and things like that specifically, but I made sure to hone in on what the hell that is so we get a clear view of what healthy sexual boundaries look like, what consent looks like, what consent sounds like, and what it doesn't look and sound like. Because when you can stand firm in what it is and what it isn't, you're less likely to be taken advantage of. Also, people who tend to be abusers, when they learn what consent is and isn't from an early age, they are less likely to perpetrate that. And we also had a really deep Q&A session at the end of that workshop because I didn't want to leave any stone unturned. So if no one has ever taught you how to say no without explaining yourself, if you freeze up instead of speaking up, if you want to feel safe in your body and powerful in your voice, I highly encourage you to do one of the strongest things that you ever can do for yourself and seek out therapy. But I also highly encourage you to get in on this workshop because this thing is not just about sex, it's about self-respect. Oh, and if you got anybody on your timeline or in your life that's even giving you a whiff of victim blaming, get rid of their ass, like ASAP. Take care of yourselves.